This show is dedicated to outfielders because there's a lot of outfielder news. Alexander Canario DFA'd. So now what do the Cubs do? Owen Caissie injured with a left groin injury. And then the Cubs go out and sign a couple of guys that you'll recognize from teams in the American League that might make the roster. We'll talk about all that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Let's get this thing started. And thank you guys for being here today. Go Cubs. What do you say, everybody? It's Mick Gillespie. Welcome to the Cubs Baseball channel, and it is great to see all of you guys today as we talk Cubs baseball. And the Cubs are the hottest team right now in Major League Baseball. Not one, but two wins over the Dodgers. They're not going to lose a game this year. They took the Dodgers out in in a spring training game, opened up Sloan Park with a 7-3 win. So that means 2 wins over the Dodgers. These games don't count, but they will play L.A. in Japan and Tokyo, and that's coming up next month. All right, let's get into this because it's kind of odd. I did the show about Alexander Canario being designated for assignment. You guys know how I feel about that. We'll see how it turns out, but feel like the Cubs really didn't take advantage of the value that they got in the Chris Bryant trade, obviously. Allowing Canario to basically be just thrown out there for any team that wants him. And what's odd is that the Cubs have a ton of outfield depth, but obviously not enough. And Craig Counsell came on and basically said Owen Caissie, who I think is the Cubs' top prospect. If I'd had a prospect guide, I'd have him as the Cubs' top prospect, outfielder, right fielder. He's been shut down due to left groin tightness. How about that? Shut down means that, who knows when you're coming back and who knows the severity. But I don't know if these two moves are related or not. But I felt like Owen Caissie was not going to make the team out of spring training. With that said, I mean, he was definitely going to me, push for some sort of role there. So what did the Cubs do? Well, they went out and signed Travis Jankowski to what I'm thinking is a minor league contract, right? And then he'll try to make the team out of spring training. So he's a 33-year-old, last couple of seasons with the Rangers. The guy's fast. He's a good defender. He's kind of a bench guy. You remember him from the Rangers World Series team. He can give you some speed, right? But he's like a 200 batter. Doesn't have a lot of power. And, he's nothing that's going to really blow the doors off of you. But you know what? Defense and running the bases, he's pretty good. And maybe that's a guy that if Owen Caissie's really hurt, that the Cubs could have, and maybe he, it gives them the depth that they need. Now you get past him and you're like, what about the Jaguar, Kevin Alcantara? He's had, a good start to spring. He got a long way to go. I feel like Alcantara has a lot of work to do in his game before he'd be ready to make, a real impact in the majors. But, he's on the 40-man. He got some time last year. And so, that's the other option for the Cubs. Which is so interesting because they've got so many outfielders, right? Ian Happ, Pete Crow-Armstrong, and then 2 right fielders, Seiya Suzuki, Kyle Tucker. Who knows who the other guy is. The Cubs have talked about, which still seems odd to me, that they signed Justin Turner to basically play the corner outfield spots, DH and first base, when they don't have a third baseman. So but he's a hitter. He's been great at camp. He's talking about the team making the playoffs. So $6 million, and you don't have a third baseman, but the guy used to play third, and, we're really not sure if he can help out there. But the Cubs weren't done. They also signed former Yankees outfielder Greg Allen. So a couple of guys that the Cubs went out and signed. And this is another one of those deals where you're like, okay, so they signed Greg Allen, And, he's going to try to make the team, as one of these guys on a minor league contract. Talking more about Allen, kind of what he brings to the tables. He's a 30-year-old. He's played 7 seasons with the Guardians, Padres, Pirates, and the Yankees. He is pretty much an outfielder. He can play some center. He's a switch hitter, and he's got great speed. I mean, he's really fast to first base. He's another one of these guys who you don't really feel like has a chance to make the team. But you know what? You sign the minor league deal. You see if you can have a good spring training. And then, what happens if Hap or Pete Crow-Armstrong or one of the other guys gets injured? Kevin Alcantara isn't able to do his thing. Owen Caissie's injured, So, with all of that said, Alexander Canario out of the mix. Here's Allen with an opportunity to play for the Cubs and try to have an impact on this roster. But it just really doesn't feel like, unless the cards totally fall his way, that he'll be a guy that the Cubs actually have at the end of spring. But you know what? I get it. I mean, you bring as many of these guys in, you give them a chance, and who knows? Maybe you get them to stay in the minor leagues or whatever. And plus, with the Cubs playing that game, those 2 games in Japan in the middle of March, I mean, maybe that stretches things out a little bit as well. Now, the other thing, and I found this interesting, is that Pete Crow-Armstrong switched to number 4, and he said Jed Hoyer was messing with him about having a speedy number instead of what was like 52 that he had or whatever before. So Pete Crow-Armstrong now wearing number 4. I think that is a fitting number for Hollywood Pete. I'm excited to see what he does this year at the major league level with the experience. This should be the year where he kind of puts it all together and breaks out for the Cubs. So one of my favorite, most exciting Cubs, and he's going to be wearing the number 4. Now, that's a great number, by the way. When you're fast, you can't Jed's exactly right. You don't want a big number on that. You got to have something small, and it just even makes you look faster. It's like those guys that that hike their socks up. They got the dark socks, and they're really fast. They just look like racehorses, pants up to their knees and the socks, and boom, they're running so fast. Anyway, that's where we are right now. Cubs are back in spring training action, Sloan Park. They'll take the White Sox on. They got the Rangers over there this weekend as well. And just getting closer and closer. It's good seeing some regulars in the spring training game yesterday. And, I'm expecting that'll kind of be the case here moving forward. These guys got to get ready for the Dodgers, and they just beat the Dodgers twice. I mean, think about that. If they did that over in Japan, whoa, it'd be amazing. All right, guys, thanks for hanging. Like and subscribe, thumbs up. We'll do it again tomorrow unless something breaks. Maybe something breaks and we'll jump on here. But thank you so much for making this channel a part of your day. I really appreciate it. Share it with your Cubs friends. And go Cubs. I can't tell you enough how cool it is that we get to talk Cubs baseball every single day here.